Hi, I thought that it would be nice to show you what I'm working on today, which is a recipe for a snack. My kids are always asking me for snacks, and I do buy some snacks, and I encourage them to eat apples, which is, a better snack. But unfortunately, a lot of the snacks just seem really expensive and just kind of like salty air or sweet air, just glorified nothingness. So anyway, I like a snack with a little bit more substance so they're not hungry again in about 5 minutes. And so one of the snacks that I like is an Oat Bites snack. Unfortunately, this snack is not very approachable for me to make because it is kind of, there's so many ingredients and they're kind of specialized. I don't have them all the time. And while they are lovely, they don't really work in my everyday kind of life. And so I'm working on this recipe. Say hello to Roscoe. I am working on this recipe for these Oat Bites, and I am thinking that I'd like to try this today. So I'll let you know how it goes and post the recipe if it does work on www.dinneranrealtime.com. Hope it does. I'll let you know. So in developing this recipe, it was really important to me to make it as straightforward as possible, and that meant that I couldn't use more than one type of seed. I mean, maybe I could have used another type of nut, but not 5 different kinds. That's not something that works in with my style. So I ground up these base ingredients in my high-speed blender until they formed a coarse meal. They were not finely ground, but they definitely were in smaller bits. Then I like to weigh my peanut butter because it's so much less messy than using a measuring cup you then have to wash. And I just don't like doing that. And so that's a thing that's fun to do. Also, if you spray your measuring cup before you're measuring something really sticky like peanut butter, it will slide out and be easy to clean up, and it will not waste a bunch of honey, which is important to me because the bees work really, really hard to give us every drop, and I want to use it to the best of its potential. So in the honey goes. I love honey, and I love bees. So anyway, an egg helps to complete the binding section, and a little vanilla for flavor, and then this all will get mixed and mashed together to form a pretty thick binding base for this treat. I put that into the blender, and then I added some garbanzo bean flour, which will help with the binding, but also helps to increase the amount of protein in these. Some salt and baking soda and a little bit of cinnamon round out the ingredients of these little bites. And they will then be blended all together in the high-speed blender. One part of this recipe that is pretty finicky and kind of annoying is chopping the dried fruit up. I didn't really appreciate how much of a pain that was going to be because it has a tendency to want to bounce all over the place, and it sticks to the knife. It's just kind of a frustrating medium to be working with, but it's very good, and I really liked the combination of apricots and raisins, nice sweetness in these cookies. My daughter, Nancy D, decided that she didn't really like the dried fruit, and she would have preferred to use mini chocolate chips, which definitely are an option here. And so anyway, you might consider that if you're not a dried fruit person. The dough that was brought together in the blender, and I could have done this in a separate stand mixer, but I was trying, which you could also do as well, or you could just stir it together by hand. But I really kind of just wanted to try making everything in one appliance. I thought that would be nice to not have a bunch of different things dirty. So anyway, I brought it together. It's a very heavy dough. Brought it together finally with my hands, and then got to scooping. We have 1 teaspoon heaping teaspoon measures that are rolled into a little ball and then flattened slightly. You can put these really close together on the baking tray because they are not going to spread. There isn't that much oil or fat in them relative to the rest of the dough. So anyway, they can be really cheek by jowl with each other. And they are really easy to roll out, just little balls that are slightly flattened. And then these are going to bake in the oven at 350 degrees for about 10 minutes. You don't want to bake them for any longer than that because they can get dried out and then they aren't as yummy. So we'll see what Inga thinks of our treat. Here we have the completed, not Aussie Bites, but Aussie Bite Idea cookies. And I'm here with my daughter, who in the book is Hervor, but she's also Inga, who illustrated the book. She's going to try out the cookies and see if they would be a good after-school snack. There's a lot of protein.
I like the good ones. The good ones. Like it tastes like peanut butter and like raisins and oats and like apples and stuff.
And there's garbanzo bean flour in it, which is full of protein. So, okay, well, there you have it. They'll do.
They're good.
They're good. Okay.
Yeah.
And so you can
I think that's important to say.
They're good. Okay. You can find the recipe at www.dinnerinrealtime.com. Hope to see you there. Okay.
You want to try some? I've always wanted to do that. Roscoe says hi.